When you think of Padre Pio, you may think of his remarkable life. Saint Pio of Pietrelcina's life was just marked with miraculous things, but we have to be clear about what holiness is truly about. Sometimes, when we hear about the saints like Saint Pio, we just focus on the miraculous things that happened in his life, like Padre Pio bilocating or Padre Pio flying during World War II. He would say a prayer and people would be healed, but he did not even leave his room when doing so. He would receive letters, about 3,000 a day, and he would pray for that person and they would be healed even if they lived on the other side of the world. Not only that, but Padre Pio had these mystical experiences with our crucified Lord Jesus, Our Lady, Saint Joseph and the saints. He spoke to heavenly beings 3 times a day. Padre Pio was not great because of those miracles or visions. He wasn't great necessarily because of the stigmata. He had the stigmata as a gift, but he was chosen to have the wounds of Christ on his body only because he was holy. There was one moment in Padre Pio's life as a Capuchin friar, as a Franciscan, when these miraculous things were happening to him, and his superiors said that he would no longer be able to either say Mass in public, preach in public or confession in public. During his life, he was accused and even punished wrongly for having done good all his life. But we must understand, these punishments came from false accusations, which then reached the highest authorities of the Church, who tried to either test him or to really punish him. This is not the Church who does wrong, but to be exact, the men who are in the Church. God permits these things to happen, just as he permitted Jesus Christ to be betrayed by Judas. Having the privilege of bearing supernatural gifts didn't make him superior to authorities, but he did the very role he was asked to play, which is to practice humility and obedience, especially to church authorities. He simply did what he was told to do, and if there's anything at all that marked the holiness of Padre Pio, it wasn't the bilocation, nor the miracles, nor supernatural healings. And it wasn't even the stigmata. On the contrary, these were effects of his holiness. They were supernatural gifts God has given to his faithful servant, Saint Pio. What marked the holiness of Padre Pio were 3 simple things: a special devotion to Jesus and Mary, humility and obedience. Padre Pio meditated day and night the mysteries of the Holy Rosary, which were the mysteries of the lives of Jesus and Mary. The saint practiced the love of Jesus for humanity, which means he first loved his mother before everyone else. Charity begins at home. You should first love who is closest to you, or that is not love. Love has an order. About devotion to Mary, Padre Pio loved Jesus with the eyes of Mary. Mary loved Jesus more than anyone else, and she will teach us how to love his son Jesus if we ask for her intercession. If you are wondering where Padre Pio got all the gifts he had, you better hear his answer. He said, "All that I have comes from Mary." Jesus gave it to Mary, who gave these graces to Padre Pio. Mary is indeed the mediatrix of all graces, as the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches. None of us can just have gifts of supernatural healing or the gift of bilocation or even rarer gifts like the stigmata. Yet, all of us can be humble, and humility isn't saying you are bad or weak. Humility is simply saying the truth. The truth is that I have certain strengths and I have certain weaknesses. Humility is knowing where you are now and trying to improve yourself for the love of God. All that I have comes from God. About my weaknesses, I need to pray to God to help me to overcome them. We do not depend on ourselves, but we lay all our needs to God. About the virtue of obedience, we are all under some authority. But that authority must not command what is immoral or against the right rule of conscience. We have someone whom we serve, someone tells us what to do. To be holy, Padre Pio said these words: "Observe what you must observe and you will become a saint." No matter what your state in life, no matter where you're at in life, whether you are priest, religious or a layperson, you can find happiness in living your life's purpose. Whatever you're doing, you can do the will of God, which means that all of us by God's grace can live like a saint today. You can download ebooks like The Imitation of Christ and the Holy Bible, which have sold billions of copies worldwide, Padre Pio's Secret Miracle Prayer and other resources by clicking the links in the description below. Check out the Catholic store for Catholic designs and images so you can support our channel. God bless.